As mentioned before, gluten can only be formed when flour becomes hydrated. The more or less hydrated the dough is, the more differences there are in dough types and final products. A dough with about 75% or higher will be sticky and harder to handle, but will have a larger crumb size, longer shelf life and bake time, have a very extensible dough, and cost less. While a dough with less hydration, say 60% or lower, will be stiff, have a smaller crumb size, shorter shelf life and bake time, a more elastic dough, and cost more for ingredients. While the amount of water is important, there's also the temperature of water that can greatly influence breads as well. A dough of a high final temperature when coming off the mixer will be very likely to continue to grow while proofing, and become too difficult to divide and contain, while a dough with a lower temperature will be smaller than needed and could end up having a lifeless dough and flat bread. The final temperature of a dough should fall between 75 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Knowing this, we can find the needed temperature for the water through the water temperature formula. This formula uses the temperatures of all the variables, such as the temperatures of the flour, the room, preferments, and friction factor, and more if there are more than one to consider, and then adds them all together. Once the variables are added, the wanted final temperature of the dough is multiplied by the number of variables in the dough, like for example 4. The number is then subtracted from the total of the variables to get the necessary water temperature for the dough. The next component of the bread making process is the most important component in order to have a bread rise and bake properly.